Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how to build wealth when you're starting from zero, and it's how to properly handle your finances when you're just getting into business. So this is for guys who are probably around 18, 25 years old, maybe a little bit older. They want to start their own business, but they're struggling to get the main finances together at the very start. It's like getting that first 5 to 10 grand saved up. And I know exactly how you feel because I've been there myself before. So when I first started my business, or when I was first thinking about starting my business, I really didn't have any money to my name. I'd just come back from traveling in New Zealand. I worked at Volkswagen for around 6 months, and I probably had about 2-3 grand saved up. But I knew I needed to get into the life of being an entrepreneur. But to do that, you've got to have some kind of money behind you. And it can be hard, if you're working your 9 to 5, you're working in normal employment, you might be earning, 25, 30 grand a year, and you're trying to get that money saved to be able to start your business. So what I'm going to give you today is some actionable steps so that you can actually get your money saved up, get your finances back in control, and slowly build up that pot of savings to the point where you'll be able to actually start the business and invest into whatever business model you may be. So that could be your first 5, 10, 15, 20 grand. You can also use this advice to save money for buying your first house. But if you're looking directly to start your own business, this is really good advice as well. So the first part is we need to understand our financial situation. So we need to get a clear picture of exactly where you are right now, how much money you got saved up, where your money is coming in from, how much you're spending, and we're going to do that by setting out a spreadsheet. Okay, so we're going to list out all your debts. So if you've got any debts at the moment, whether it be credit card bills, outstanding loans to friends, whatever it may be, the debts, you need to list them all out in the spreadsheet. So you'd have your first column, which is debts. Okay, you then go on to your expenses. So what are your monthly expenses every single month? Do you have a car? Do you have car insurance, a phone bill, rent? List out all your expenses, even down to the most minimal ones, whether it's just be like your bus pass or tickets, whatever it might be, your expenses, so that you know on a monthly basis just how much you're going to be spending. And then after that, we're going to start to list our assets and our income. Okay, so we want to know exactly how much money we've got coming in. So if you're in a 9 to 5, start by listing out your income after tax and exactly how much money you'll be getting into the bank. And if you've got any other source of income, if you've got any other side hustles or anything that produces you any income, what we want to get is a clear picture of how much money is going out and how much money is coming in, so that we know the difference if we're losing every month because we're spending too much money, or if we're making enough money to then put some away. And that's the first part, to understand your financial situation. So moving on to the second part, we then need to set some clear financial goals. If you don't have any goals in place, then it's very easy to wander off the path. But if we do set goals that we know, right, we want to save 10 grand, we can then start to reverse engineer what it's going to look like to get to that 10 grand. Okay, imagine that you're going on a journey, and you don't have a map in front of you or a destination. You just wander around aimlessly, and the same thing goes with financial goals. So we're first going to start with our short-term financial goals. So if that's to save 10 grand, that's where we're going to put out as our first goal, save 10 grand, okay? And whether that be for starting a mentorship or starting the business, getting a course, whether you may spend that money on, we need to know how much that's going to be. We then want to apply the 50-30-20 rule. Your 50% of your income needs to go for your needs. So the rent, groceries, things that you can't really avoid not paying for, okay? They're essentials, so we can't cut them out. 30% of it needs to be for wants. So 30% of your income needs to go for like going out for dinners with friends, Netflix, kind of like not luxuries, but extra things that you could have in life that everybody likes to have, to go out with your friends every now and then. And then 20% needs to go to your savings. So that's to pay off any debts that you've got, or just putting it towards building the fund. Now, if I was in a lot of debt, the first thing I would do is cut out the wants and I'd dedicate 50-50. So I'd say, right, well, if I can get it down from 50, even lower than 50 on the needs, then I would try to dedicate as much money as I can to paying off the debt so that I'm in a cash positive situation. We don't want to be in debt for a long time if we can avoid it, because you'll probably be paying interest on that, which is going to keep going up and up and up until you actually pay it all off. The next step is to then reduce expenses. So as I said, this is for guys who are probably just trying to get that 2 to 3 grand. There's a case to say that you shouldn't reduce your expenses if you're in an abundance mindset. And in some ways I agree with that, but I'm talking to the guys who are really struggling right now. They want to get the savings up and they need that money to start the business. They don't have any other option right now. So living in an abundance mindset really isn't quite the option at this time. So we want to reduce our expenses. So little things like Netflix and things like that, they always say that. But think about reducing costs on like maybe your car insurance. So maybe downgrading your car, getting something that's going to reduce your expenditure by a considerable amount if you can. And also just by going through your bank statements as well, write it all down in a spreadsheet and start to analyze where you could be spending your money frivolously. I don't know how to say that word. I know how to say it. I know exactly what it means, but it's quite hard for me to pronounce. Frivolously, I don't know. Anyway, so cut out all the crap, cancel anything that you don't need to be paying for. If you've got 5, 6, 7 different TV subscriptions and entertainment subscriptions, cut all of them out and narrow it down to one, for example. You don't need to be paying 70, 80, 90 pound a month for entertainment, okay? You can cut that down to one subscription if you're in a desperate position. This is what I'm talking about, okay? Try to reduce any alcohol consumption when you're going out, because that can be expensive. Taxis, I mean, going out on a regular basis, if you're going out 4 times a month, 3 times a month, and you're trying to save money, then that's going to be difficult. At the most, limit it to the absolute maximum 1 time per month, and try to reduce the cost of that if you can. And obviously don't have any other bad habits. If you're into drugs and all these kind of things like that, then that needs to go straight away, because yeah, that's a red flag. It's never going to help you whatsoever. So if you can, go minimalist. Only buy what you need. Sell stuff that you don't use anymore. That can be helped to put towards the fund. If there's things that just lie around the house and you're not using them, and you haven't used them for a long time, get rid of them. And move in with your parents if you can. A lot of people say you should move out as soon as possible, and I agree with that as well at some point. But if you're trying to save, then moving in with your parents can really be the big difference between getting that debt down and building a lot of savings up. I'm not ashamed to say that I moved back in with my parents when I started my business, because that extra £500-600 a month that I was paying in rent and costs was the difference between being able to survive and not being able to survive. So moving back in with your parents is a great option, and it will make for a more easy life when you are just starting your business. So I do recommend that. Then the next thing is to try and increase your income whilst you are building up this savings. So what can you do in the meantime? Can you do work on the weekends? Can you do overtime? Can you go to your boss and ask for a pay rise by providing him with more value? Think of ways that you can increase your income in order to reduce that amount of time it's going to take you to get to the savings goal. Next thing is then to research and plan for your business. So still do the work in the background whilst you're saving up. Don't just forget about the business idea. Start to research all the things. Start learning about the industry. Start trying to get a skill up in that industry if you can. You don't want to lose time and waste time while you're still doing this savings goal. The next part is to save and invest intelligently. So you need to build an emergency fund. So you need to have around 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So let's fast forward a second, okay, on this point. Say we get to the point where we're ready to start the business and we've got some money. You need to make sure you've got 3 to 6 months of expenses behind you, because you never know what's going to happen in business. And if you go all in and spend all your money straight away and you don't make any income, or something doesn't go well, or there's some kind of problems and you've got nothing to fall back on, it's very hard to keep going in business when you've got nothing to survive on. So you need to try and have 3 to 6 months of expenses behind you in order to provide you with that safety net, okay? And keep that separate from your business expenses. Make sure that is saved up in a personal account that is not going to be used up by the business. It's just for you to survive on. And try to invest, if you can, in a mentorship, coaching or courses to kind of accelerate that business growth as soon as possible, because that's going to accelerate the knowledge that you're going to gain, and it's going to help you to avoid making mistakes when you're going through that business growth journey, which can be costly, of course. So guys, I hope that video was helpful. If you need help with your business growth, if you need to scale your business, or you're looking to get some advice on how to start your business, please feel free to reach out to me via DM. You can drop me a message on Instagram or book a call with me following the link in the bio below. And please subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.